I just learned some facts that pretty much prove XRP is going to be taken off of platform soon. This will create a supply shock like we've never seen before. Also, I think this is really cool. It's going to be broken down for you. I'm going to tell you something new. You may have heard about the new ETFs yesterday and today. We will talk about them a lot more. Don't miss out on these markets because there are so many things going on. You'll be sorry you didn't. I'd like to start by talking about the market and what's going on right now because we're living in a very interesting time in history. That kind of thing has only happened a few times before. New all-time highs are coming for the S&P 500 and interest rates are about to go down by the Federal Reserve. It doesn't happen often. This doesn't really happen very often. This happened in 1999 when the dot-com boom was big. These things happened in 1965 and 1929. I will also talk about why this is important and why it is likely to cause a supply shock that has never been seen before. So keep an eye out for that. Interest rates will go down on Wednesday, which is this 2025 that the Fed has done so. They will say that this move is due to a weak job market. In 1996, it only took place 3 times. The Federal Reserve is lowering interest rates while the S&P 500 hits a new high. What is going to happen next? Well, U.S. stocks are now worth more than they ever have been. This is more than the top of the dot-com bubble and the top before the Great Depression. It might be fair since AI and Bitcoin are making things worse. The most important tech changes in 20 years. The Fed is facing some big changes right now. Most of the time, the Fed cuts rates when prices on the market are very low and the economy is weak. Many people have different ideas about how strong the economy is, but GDP growth is still strong. The GDP is growing very quickly, 3% per year. It's also very easy to get news about prices. All over, core CPI inflation is 3.1%. Also, the rate of core inflation is a 1 in 10 basis points, more than what the Fed wants in the long run. Anyway, unemployment is going up, which is the main job, so the Fed needs to do something about it. The Fed had to lower rates because the job market was getting worse. The number of shoppers in the U.S. who said there were plenty of jobs fell to 34.1 in July, the lowest level since 2021. The job market has slowed down a lot over the last 2 years, so this is down 22 points. Stocks are doing very well because the economy is growing, inflation is high, and AI is becoming more popular. The S&P 500 hit its 24th all-time high point just now. From its lowest point in April, it has now gone up more than 35%. Now that rates are going down, things will get even worse. Those times, like during the dot-com bubble and a few other times we've talked about, the stock market went through the roof. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. This time, the only thing that's new is that digital assets are now present. All of us can see now that digital assets can be used instead of the US dollar, the euro, and the Chinese yuan, and all of these other money types. In every way, they're broken today. I read that XRP and Solana ETFs, as well as Fidelity, Canary, and Higher ETFs are all on their way. In fact, many of these were supposed to be due on September 18th. BlackRock, Fidelity, Canary Capital, Gayscale, and many more big names are asset managers who take care of trillions of dollars. That is a huge amount of cash that these guys can use. Okay, these ETFs will go on sale at It's altcoin season. What would happen with Bitcoin and the ETF was already known. It moved slowly at first, but then it sped up and went crazy. From the time the ETF come out, the markets will have more cash on hand. The quantity of coins is going to change in a way that I think has never been seen before. Things will get even stranger if the Fed keeps cutting rates until at least November or October. As we talked about at the start of the movie, I wanted to show you or explain the supply shock and the swap thing. This is because there have been times when XRP's market, when a shock to supply caused crazy price changes. Mean that prices will change by huge amounts. You like November, right? I'm going to show you something really cool. There was a big supply shock in XRP in 2017. A lot of people wanted to buy crypto during the ICO boom because they were afraid they would miss out. Banks wanted to try Ripple's cross-border payment technology early on, and there was general crypto market hype. XRP was worth it's worth more than 38 now. It even hit a high on about 3 cents 70. That is, it was a 1,600% increase. Okay, it costs 16 times as much. That's crazy. Some months ago, one XRP coin was worth 50 cents. Now it's worth more than 3. This happened during the election super cycle, which lasts from November 2024 to January 2025. We saw this happen. Now, the same things are taking place here that made that election cycle possible. Because rates are going down, the Fed would like to. It's not possible to get too much XRP. Why do I think we should all ask? How likely is it that XRP will go through the same cycle it did in 2017? I did the math on this. So this has a cool backstory, right? In 2017, that supply shock was mostly caused by people withdrawing cash. There was a 1,600% rise and then a crash after all the excitement about retail and the early bank tests. It was clear that people got too excited after the crash because of the mystery of the rules. When XRP fell back to earth, it was worth about 50 cents. Value changes that are pretty crazy. This time is very different, but I'll get to it. If we keep an eye on the markets, we can see that the amount of money in exchange funds has dropped by 5.66%. EVs are also buying, and banks and other businesses may also buy. There is a 95% chance that ETFs will trade over 1.3 trillion, and then rate cuts will encourage people to buy. It's likely that all of these things are happen. All of these things are likely to happen right now. They're 95% or more likely to happen. We have a good chance. The price change is another thing. It might go up to 6s in the short term, but what happens in the middle term is much more interesting. You can see that banks are buying because ETFs force them to. There will be a supply shock on the markets, and ETF providers will rush to buy this XRP. This will make them go crazy. ETF prices will go through the roof. I also think it's likely that there will be another supply shock like the last one. When we first looked at that, we saw that the EOS had 6% jumps were likely. That's a gain of 16 times. I think we can still have the same experience, even though it might not be as big a known. XRP is more well known, has a bigger community. Because of this, I think a 20-outer XRP bull run is likely to happen if rates are cut more than once. New money worth trillions of dollars will flow through the markets that wasn't there before. Bodies that hold money will buy this stock right away. Shopping will grow very quickly because people will think, wow, I should have paid attention to my friend. I ought to have listened to my dad. I should have bought XRP because my brother told me to. I'm leaving now. People will be scared, miss out on all of these things that will happen at the same time. Many of us have been here for a while and have been able to build up for a while. An increasing number of you who have watched my movies today and in the past are quickly running out of time to save money before these things happen. Rates went down this month. There were ETFs this month. That's the reason I'm making this movie. That's the reason I'm here now. In the short run, the price of XRP might change a lot. It might drop a little or even below $3 a coin. It's possible. I'm going to tell you the truth. It doesn't matter though. I agree with everyone. If there's even a small chance that XRP will be worth 10 times more tomorrow, why should I buy it today for 3 fun 10? Eat $2.90 or $2 a coin. Most people would take this chance if it meant they could make Thames their money in 6 to 10 months. And that's pretty much what we have here. Anyway, I don't think this is good business advice. Here's what I'm seeing, and now here are the numbers. It's likely that what you're telling me will happen since all the big events are about to happen. Yes, I'm selling and getting ready. I'm